Hey, Rich.
I was asleep at the keyboard playing WoW.
Uh,
That's okay. I was playing Diablo 4 before I popped in here, so.
I was supposed to go gaming today, but yesterday about noon I got notification from my wife that no, instead I have to drive my son, my daughter-in-law, and my grandchildren to Midway so that they could go to Florida. So I got practically no sleep last night. So as soon as I got home from doing all of that this afternoon, I've just been a zombie. So, ooh, that is tasty. Monster, zero sugar, ultra strawberry dreams.
well, it probably tastes a lot better than what my cat just ate.
I would assume so.
I don't know if you heard the opening. She experienced the lovely taste of a lightning bug.
At least it wasn't a ladybug.
Ladybug might have tasted better.
Yeah. No, it looked like an Alka-Seltzer went off in her mouth, trying to spit it out.
You guys know it was almost time for the end of the show.
My little lovable idiots, my dogs.
Yeah.
Back when we were in the house, we had a lot of toads that would show up right around toad mating season. Misty wasn't able to stop Bella fast enough. Bella ran out, got one, dropped it, was foaming at the mouth for 3 hours afterwards. And the dog was trying to lick her own asshole to get the taste out of her mouth.
My parents' dog tried to eat a toad. They had a toy poodle, one of their toy poodles.
And he wasn't tripping out?
No, it wasn't one of the good toads.
And John's awful quiet. He's just sitting there.
John just woke up.
Did everybody just wake up?
My neighbors have discovered fireworks, and we have new neighbors with lots of kids, so they're actually the ones that have fun with fireworks.
Ooh, do it again, Daddy. Do it again. Daddy almost blew his face off. No, Daddy's going to take a break for a few minutes and drink a beer.
I'm kind of torn because they're actually shooting some of my favorite fireworks. So it's it's kind of like, who's making all this noise? Ooh,
I'm supposed to be mad.
Some of your favorite fireworks, what size mortars? And I don't mean the kind that you can buy in a...
Well, strangely enough, they were firing, they're called salutes. Sometimes they're called cannon salutes. Mm-hmm. All they do is they shoot up in the air and they make a very loud boom. I always like those, the fireworks.
Basically the equivalent of a... like a quarter stick being tossed up in the air.
Pretty much.
Really, really high. I like those too.
Yeah, I was telling Joe about how my yesterday went before the show. I think, I don't know if y'all saw my post that I've hired an assistant for the rest of the weekend. I've hired Helen Wake to handle everything for me. If you want something from me, go to Helen Wake. I had my wife and son in the emergency room for two different things.
Boy.
At the same time. Yeah, my son is now sans appendix. And Donna's seizures are under control again, I hope.
How's she feeling?
Fingers for you?
Like she'd been beat. I mean, she doesn't have the grand mal, she has the petit mal seizures. You know, she goes, oh, and she coughs like she's going to throw up. And she goes, here it goes again. I sit down. but she had like 7 of them in like 6 days.
That's not.
I understand the heat. I understand the heat's bad for that. So.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And if she's like Misty, Misty gets them real bad right around real bad barometric changes and real bad around thunderstorms.
Yeah, well, we've had that rolling through here a lot lately.
Yes.
So the past few days, the thunderstorms rolling through here, Misty's been having her ass kicked in.
You know,
So we had our Indiana State Police respond to a rather interesting road rage incident.
What'd you do?
Wasn't me this time.
last time
Last time,
Wasn't me.
no, yesterday about 6 p.m. They reported to a road rage incident on I-65. The suspect had reportedly thrown an egg at the victim and then produced and pointed a firearm at the victim.
But that's not the best part of the story, is it?
No.
Threw an egg, then produced a firearm.
Yes. So the cops, managed to track the person down. They did observe a carton of eggs in the vehicle with 1 egg missing. And there's the gun. There's the photo evidence of the egg missing.
And
you
and
gotta
how-
get it.
and how much meth?
None.
Wait a minute. Are there circles and arrows on the back of each one?
And the thing is, them are homegrown eggs, so most likely it was a double yolked egg.
Looking at
John?
the amount of yolk on the side of that vehicle, I'm guessing you're probably right.
Yeah.
John, why do I see your name on one of those eggs?
Are you kidding? With the prices of eggs these days, I wouldn't be throwing them at no damn cars.
Someone's visiting Earl Shed. Egg prices have come down, at least in my area.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. It went like from $5.99 now to $1.65. Thank God.
$1.38 for an 18 count by us.
Yeah, intimidation with firearm, pointing a firearm, and a Class B misdemeanor of criminal mischief for throwing the egg.
What you in here for? I pulled a gun on somebody, threw an egg at them.
That was an exceptional crime.
So
Well-
my house was getting egged a lot in high school.
Well, you kept pissing me off.
People didn't realize we had dopes. Plural. So real loudly at lunch one day, I'm like, well, it's Friday. It's time for the house to get egged again. Guess it's time for me to sit outside at the Dobes. Funny. Never got egged ever again.
Yes, Carl, I've had, actually, since the horrific storms came through here Thursday, Oakwood got power back around 11 p.m., lost it for about an hour Friday, which you see this guy freaking out because I was like, oh no, I got to mail this eBay that I sold. And of course, the post office had no power for a while, but right now, Hillary, which is just right west of Danville, Carl and Donna know, they're having power surges because they're not back up to full power yet. So most of them can't turn their AC on, things like this. And then, of course, all the cleanup going on Urbana got their power back yesterday and now just lost it again. So their Ameren is saying that everybody is supposed to be back up to full speed sometime tomorrow, but nobody's holding their breath. But we're just glad there were, for everybody else that don't know this, we had horrific thunderstorms, 80-mile-an-hour winds. This is highway speed winds that went from west to east. They could not get the tornado warnings up quick enough. They had started out with 3 confirmed tornadoes over by Springfield, and then it went from there. Tennis ball size hail just southwest of me, but everybody got some sort of hail. And anyway, all the tree services and the power companies, which they pulled people from power companies from Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee. They pulled ComEd from Chicago area, all to come help Ameren with this because they had a good majority of East Central Illinois without power. Champaign and Vermilion County being the 2 worst. Last I heard, it was like 350,000 customers. So anyway, we had fun, and we also had thunderstorms again this morning and this evening, which is not anywhere near as devastating, and more rain tomorrow after the last month and a half being in severe drought and air quality alert. Thank you, Canada, due to the wildfires up there.
Blame
I mean,
Canada. Blame Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they and I don't know, and maybe somebody else does. Now, when California them have their wildfires, and of course they're going on for weeks at a time, a lot of the blame to that is that they do not believe in controlled burns that help prevent the wildfires. I don't know about Canada, what's
Canada,
going on with them.
Canada just has a lot of remote area and thousands of lakes. Okay. So you have to literally, all their little roads that go back through there thread their way around these lakes and up over mountains and hills and through. And it's just, if they get a wildfire breakout, it's hard to get organized to go after them. And the lakes are not huge lakes. Usually there's just, it's almost like a swamp in the middle of Canada. And if you get a good forest fire going, a good wind, those lakes don't provide a fire break in a lot of cases. So they'll form a line to stop the fires at the lake because that's where you get the water. They'll form a line to start the fires, and the fire, something will fly over the lake, land behind them on the other side of the lake, and start all over again on the other side of the lake. So it's they're literally having to dodge around lakes and forest fires to try and stop forest fires. So
yeah, well, they're telling the landowners to evacuate, and a lot of it that's on fire is timber land.
Mm-hmm.
And landowners are going, no. And they're going in with their equipment and just clearing.
Trying to, yeah.
Trying to clear. And the Canadian government's threatening to fine them if they don't evacuate. And if they won't evacuate, they're going to fine them for that. But they're thinking about fining them for clearing the trees without permits. It's a no-win situation. Oh, and speaking of Canada, our favorite Canadian is in the air right now, headed home from Florida. He says he's going to stop in probably Thursday.
Well, one thing keeping those fires out of the United States is, I think, the St. Lawrence River. That's fairly large, but up there by Niagara Falls and that vicinity.
Well, I'm trying to find
I'm
a picture there. I mean, it's literally those fires stretch from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. It's not just one small fire. It's like there's hundreds of small wildfires going on at the same time.
The whole country's on fire.
Yeah, let me see if I can find.
Yeah. Well, and the other, okay, I mentioned about the air quality alerts that we had here in Illinois, and of course, Wisconsin and Michigan and everywhere around, northern Indiana and all that had the same. We had last week the worst, the worst tier of the air quality alert that you could get, which I forget what they call it right now, and I'm sure John could find it, Google it, but we had that. And so last Tuesday, we took a trip up to Northwest Chicago, and of course it's like foggy old England up there. It is so horrible. We go up by O'Hare. We were still seeing planes taking off and landing, which that huge plane flying right over your head through the fog, you don't see it till the last second, and then it comes out of the fog at you like frickin' Jaws. Is pretty scary, and I'm surprised that they actually didn't cancel the flights that day. They did cancel flights after that, but it was really pretty bad. And then it got down to East Central Illinois, and a lot of people were really affected by it. You saw people wearing masks again, the first time in 3 years. My neighbor's kids, when he sent them outside to play, he made sure that they wore masks because of the smoke in it. And it affected me. It affected Laura. We all had some problems with it afterwards, and I hate to say it, but Thursday, with all the storms and the tornadoes that came through, one positive thing that came out of that, other than it's helping the drought, was that it helped dissipate a lot of that smoke. And so our air quality alerts improved. I think it was yesterday was the first day that it went down.
Everybody's awful quiet.
Let me see. I was trying to.
I'm waiting for the energy drink and Sour Patch Kids to kick in for me to wake up.
Well,
Send those Sour Patch Kids to bed. It's too late.
I am sending to bed in my tummy.
I'm reading this. I was reading on Bill's question earlier about the air quality index, and it goes very good, good, fair, poor, very poor, and then hazardous. So
That was us.
Hazardous. The air quality index is 200 plus particulate or whatever, and it goes to hazardous. Sensitive groups avoid all outdoor activities. Significantly cut back on outdoor physical activities. And then,
and somebody in the chat whose name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, so I'll just say John Smith, said that they grew up
Moon Angel
on the St. Lawrence River.
You can't say Moon Angel.
Angie.
Eagle River.
Her name's Angie. John, since you're here,
Well,
I
she has a
think
funny way of spelling it.
I am going to hand it over to you because I've had a hell of a day
Okay.
or yesterday, and I'm
Where's
trying
it?
to catch up with sleep.
I take it Dan's working late? Or
Dan
right.
is walking around the house and reading books by lamplight.
Gotcha.
So there may not be a
Storms or electric bill?
LMS.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably storms. And Carl, I did get some sleep, but it ain't enough. So I think I'm
Joe
gonna
Dog didn't sleep badly.
yeah,
Go sleepy.
yeah, very sleepy. So I'm gonna let you guys have it. Stay out of trouble. And I guess we will.
You're signed on so early.
Yeah. And I will see all of y'all Thursday night.
All right,
Good
so
night,
as Joe Dog, clicks off, everybody, just rack off a couple dozen F-bombs. Oh, wait, Joe Dog's still here. Never mind.
Hey, I don't care about the F bombs. Just don't do any copyright.
Oh,
In that
Hey.
case,
I think those
Mr.
F-bombs are
Sandman.
copyrighted too, so
Yeah. Well, no copyrights or any of that because hey, it's getting too close to HallowCon.
Yep.
All right, I'll holler at all y'all later. Thanks, John, for being here. Thanks, Joe, for jumping in early. And
Feel
I
better.
guess I will catch all of y'all later.
get some rest, Joe.
Oh, it's going to be a 30-minute show tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
It's almost
Good night,
the
everybody.
end of the Joe.
Yeah. All right, good night, y'all.
Feel
Good
better.
night, Joe
Hopefully,
Dog.
Donna feels better and your son feels better too.
All right.
what Rich said.
Thoughts and prayers going out to Donna.
L'chaim.
Yeah, there's nothing really wrong with her. She's married to Joe.
You did that on purpose.
And I'm getting some little glitches right now. Rich is glitching, so maybe the energy drink is kicking in on him.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, I think it's because we got some weather coming up through here right now. So
So do we. Like literally. Okay, did you guys notice I have a different background today? I'm not in the green room. Ted was off tonight, so I'm still in the bedroom, and he just comes in here and goes, you might want to pull up the radar because there's a storm coming. Yep, there is. I think that was fireworks, though. Yeah. We're playing the fireworks or thunder game right now.
Is it coming across, due west to east, or is it heading northerly at all?
Fireworks.
It's heading northerly just a bit.
the fireworks, they head up and then they head down.
It is heading slightly, mostly east, but a little bit of northernness to it, Rich.
All right.
He was actually out in the cave. They were out. He was out in the cave, and he goes all of a sudden like, "That was thunder. I better get in here." So he came running in the house. Just thought I'd give you, step by step of what's happening in my world.
Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, inch by inch, centimeter by.
What?
Screw the metric system.
Carl, that's the best time to set them off. You don't have to worry about them setting fire to anything. Don't believe me? Ask Canadians. Yeah, I remember one.
Yeah.
I remember one year. Right around 4th of July, there was a drought. Okay. High fire alerts and all that sort of stuff. They told everyone, don't shoot fireworks on the 4th of July. In North Georgia and East Tennessee, they wanted to
Good luck
try
with
and
that.
get people not to shoot fireworks. Okay. They sell fireworks here in Walmart, Costco, and in the parking lot of the Ingles grocery store. Okay, that's
In the lemonade stand set up by 5-year-olds.
Just across the state line in Indiana, they have a fireworks place there, big as a Walmart. And if they ever tried to say around here not to shoot the fireworks off on the 4th of July, let alone any other night, most everybody would say challenge accepted. And that's all you would hear. And we had ours, we had our 4th of July parade in Oakwood here today. The storms came through prior to that this morning, so the parade went off pretty good. But then the second round started coming through just before dark, which is when they were supposed to have the fireworks. So I thought they canceled them altogether, but I just actually heard them about an hour ago. So they only last an hour because Oakwood is 1,600 people. We're not big, and but they do put on a good show, and so I'm glad that they got them in, and they were probably firing them off in the rain, but you know. The best place for people to do it, that if you have droughts or whatever's going on, the ones that fire them off over a lake, and then you don't have to worry about anything. But
yeah, there were some people in our neck of the woods, and I used to admire them for this. They had one of these floating docks, it had a water slide on it and stuff like that. And they had built it themselves. It was pretty cool. And they tow it out in the middle of the lake and anchor it. And then, everybody swim out to it and climb the ladder, slide down the slide, and just hang out there. They would go out there and shoot their fireworks off of the floating platform out in the middle of the lake.
That's actually the big ones that they do here in Peoria, the red, white, and boom. They combine with East Peoria and Peoria, so it's big fireworks right in the middle.
They used to do it off of a barge here in Tennessee.
Well, it might be a barge. I don't know. It's in the river.
They started closing one of the bridges across the river and shooting them off the bridge.
I'd to repeat that.
Which kind of cool because they're going out over the river, but they're blocking a bridge. They're blocking one of the major arteries now. Yeah, to do this. And the barge was really cool because they just they bring the barge up on a tugboat, park it out in the middle of the river, shoot fireworks off of it, take the barge back, and turn it back in. And what was really cool is they didn't have to be in town where the barge was. There's the old Hales Bar Dam, which is north and west of Chattanooga, where that barge company is, where they manufacture or where they repair barges and store barges and all that. Is just down the freeway from the fireworks store and the people that put on the fireworks display. So that it was easier for them to come down, rent the barge, set everything up, float it, bring it up the river on a boat, shoot it off, take it back down, clear it off, and just.
Don, don't you still have the river boats there in Peoria?
Gambling boat. But they don't have the paddle boat anymore.
Oh, that's horrible. I love the paddle boat.
Oh. That was funny when we were in Tennessee a couple weeks ago. We went to pick up the other author. Like, in the middle of the parking lot. It was for the fireworks. It's fireworks. I'm like, I don't know. I figured somebody was having parking lot picnics. I don't know. Dude, was that Rich that was acting on Goofy? Done Goofy and now looking Goofy?
I get these friends requests out of nowhere. And I think either they're related to Stupid O'Clock or they're from the convention people. And just drives me nuts sometimes. I'm like, who the heck is that? Let's see here.
I don't really accept very many anymore.
Neither.
I mean, they're
Well, the other thing is I get a bunch of them from the military. And just people that knew me somewhere from a class or something like that. And then a lot of the military classes, you had to sign up for them online. And because your email address is there, you just start getting all sorts of stuff for the military. Just people like, you do this. And then for a while, I was thinking about joining up an overseas military, overseas security group. So I started getting a lot of mail from them wanting stuff. And I think about half of it's scams trying to get money, but the other half was people trying to hire you to do something. I've never been an artillery turret maintenance mechanic. I never did that job. It sounds goofy, but strangely, the Army had this newspaper, Army Times newspaper. And when it came out, if you looked in the back, they had job ads for people that were getting out of the military that would take their military training to these jobs. And a lot of them were in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. And they were hiring tank mechanics. They would hire turret mechanics and hull mechanics and artillery. They would hire turret mechanics and hull mechanics because they needed people to work on their depots. And Saudi Arabia, over half their country are foreign nationals they've hired to come in and do jobs that they don't want to do themselves. So, and I think half their military is basically contractors. That just get people to come in and work on stuff and do stuff and run stuff. No, I don't get any of those, but it was apparently I got a lot of kudos for hooking up some guy that he was back when the Somali pirates were real bad. The security company he was working for was making an offshoot group that would provide security for ships. And they'd be working out of India, I think it was. India or Sri Lanka, I can't believe. But he was talking about how much money he was going to spend on weapons for these guys, weapons and ammunition. I was like, he says, what are you arming them with? He went out and did just this list of all the stuff the military uses. I'm like, well, there's your problem. You're buying all this high dollar U.S. stuff. And says, so I went and found a Polish company. Now, the interesting thing at the time, Poland had joined NATO and was bringing all of their weapons up because they had the old Soviet stuff. They were bringing all their weapons up to par with NATO because one of the things about being in NATO is you have to use NATO ammo. All the NATO countries use the same ammo. They use 5.56 in the rifles. They use 308 in sniper rifles and machine guns, 50 caliber, 20 mine. They all use the same bullets. That way they can cross-level ammunition in the event of war. Makes it easier for the logistics to maintain. It's some guy, let's say, I don't know, if Lithuania gets attacked and they start running low on ammo, all their NATO pals can send them ammo. That sort of thing. Well, it turns out there's this one Polish company that I was really impressed with at the time because they were doing some really nice work bringing up Soviet-style weapons to American-style ammo. And I hooked him up with that company. He went in, and all his guys were running around with I think it was called an AK-100 at the time. I'm not sure what they call them now, but it was the new Polish Kalashnikov. They had a name for it. I can't remember what it was. And they were machine guns, which they had these old RPK machine guns that they had reworked and modernized them to use American machine gun ammo, which was, at the time, it was one of the top machine guns you could buy for the least amount of money. It was high quality, low price. So all his guys are running around with these nice high-tech looking Soviet weapons. Everybody, where'd you get those weapons? Poland. There's a joke in there.
The AK I had was, I believe, a Klish. Can't say it. What you said.
Had to restart the machine, and then while the machine was restarting, had to go remind Misty to take her medications, considering all the thunderstorms that are going to be rolling through the area. It's going to play hell with her epilepsy.
We had one of those dogs that had the extreme anxiety with thunderstorms and fireworks.
I have two of them, but we call them ugly cats.
She was a boxer pit bull mix.
Oh.
And would just lose her damn mind, just running around panting real hard, drooling. And,
the sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Save me.
Yeah.
I take bullets for you. You take loud noises for me. The law of equivalent exchange.
The only way this dog would take a bullet for me if it was made of sausage. Okay.
Did somebody say sausage?
Okay. The reason I made that joke up is there used
Sausages.
to be supposedly the CIA had a sausage bullet for assassinating people. I kid you not. They made bullets.
No, I've seen the conspiracy theory about the liquid nitrogen frozen pieces of hamburger meat, so that when it goes in, it looks like it's just part of the soft tissue.
Exactly. Well, the trick is to make it out of human cadaver sausage. So you actually had to like chop up a human being, a dead body, to make the sausage. And so there's somebody in the CIA whose job it is to make human sausage. And then, yes,
they just went to Motel Hell.
Yeah, you compact it. There's some little device they put it into to make the bullet mold, basically. And then you freeze it in liquid nitrogen. So, yes. Then somewhere down the line,
it's super dense and it will do the penetration, but then it will thaw into.
Because it's basically, the meat is basically liquid, solid fats. And when it hits, it makes a really nasty wound, and it's impossible to unless you do a DNA test, it's impossible to figure out what kind of bullet they were hit with. Of course, the fact that there's a bullet wound and they can't find a bullet,
that's what they shot Kennedy with.
Puts a new spin on the term going to the daily grind.
Yes, it is.
Somebody had to say it, Rich.
Now,
I made a Motel Hell joke about a 1970s, late 70s, very early 80s horror movie.
There's all kinds of critters in Uncle John's fritters.
I think allegedly set in Georgia, or at least somewhere in the deep south, where this couple that runs this little motel and has the best selling, basically Slim Jim type, snacks in the area. What they're doing is they're hijacking travelers, and then they're planting them in the ground, cutting out their vocal cords, feeding them through tubes until it's time to harvest them, and then turning them into the sausage. So
if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's actually a pretty good horror movie. I mean, it's goofy. You know, it's in that Psycho Texas Chainsaw
It's
Massacre.
cheesy as hell, but it actually scared the hell out of me because I could see people losing it and doing it. It came out around the same time as It's Alive and It's Alive 2 and all that stuff. Alien, like it really late 70s, really early 80s. It's cheesy.
1980.
Fun.
It was a 1980 movie.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was 78, 79, 80, or 81.
I posted a link to the Wikipedia page for Motel Hell on Stupid O'Clock.
Yeah. Tonight on Spenguli, they had The Car with James Brolin, which I love that. George Barris, who made the Batmobile and the Monkeys Mobile and all that, he made the custom-made the car for the movie. They said there was one actual steel frame car that for a lot of the shots, all the rest of them were made out of aluminum and fiberglass for all the stunts. So when he did the rolling over the top of the police car that killed the two policemen and that was those in there. And then you had Kim Richards and her little sister back when they were kids in the movie. And what was they're on a reality show now, Real Housewives or whatever the heck it's called. Having problems these days.
You cracked that open and Dawn said just went
really glitchy on this end, which I think it's the weather again.
What? I want a drink.
I forgot that the can was
swallow, Rich. We swallow in this house.
I forgot that.
Okay, I'm gonna go, guys.
I'm eating sausage.
You're gonna go, Dawn?
I'm gonna head out, guys. Have a good night.
Night.
You too. Be safe tonight.
I stopped in early so that I could leave early to really mess with you. Nah.
And how many times will that play tonight? And John will never do it again.
I wonder if I play that enough, if Joe will get a copyright strike. Is it like 10 seconds in one block, or is it like cumulative? It's like you kept playing this.
What is that taken from anyway?
There is some show on either, I can't remember if it's Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. It's Adult Swim is Cartoon Network. So there was some show they had, and one of the characters was a sock puppet, and that apparently was the sock puppet dancing when they did that thing. So it's crazy kids. So, let me see.
Oh, and next week on Spenguli is Ghoulies. Another cheesy
didn't like
horror flick
as much, but the Critters, on the other hand, was just hilarious. I mean, it's just, I don't know who, I can't remember,
especially the later ones.
Yet, Critters 2 was just hilarious.
Critters 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Critters 2 Electric Boogaloo.
No, Critters 2, the bounty hunters that were hunting the Krites came back. So that was, and one of them was still trying to decide on what form it would take because they were shapeshifters.
Turn into a centerfold, and then you see the staple just.
And it just so happens they're walking through the woods, and there's a Playboy magazine, and the centerfold flops open, and I think it was Sybil Danning was the centerfold, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
And so the alien that was looking for a form took on the form of Sybil Danning, and kind of funny because the clothing that he was wearing at the time wasn't designed for someone as chesty as Sybil Danning. So.
And when he morphed, the staple was still in the belly button, and then it just goes.
Which was hilarious. I mean, just the whole thing is full of jokes like that. But the one thing I really loved about the thing was that the guns they carried looked like a suitcase.
The BFGs.
Yes, exactly. They'd reach down, grab it, activate it.
Guys, I'm going to, while I'm not, I was about to say, while it's not glitching too bad on my end, and then it started glitching again, I'm going to go ahead and back out, say goodnight to everybody.
Oh.
Maybe I'll try to come back when God is not so angry with Illinois.
Bill?
And see if it works out better then. So,
the glitch
but you guys take care and bye, con Dios.
Have a good night, Bill.
Be safe.
See, Bill doesn't look like he's glitching to us, but apparently we look like we are glitching to Bill. So.
No, that's not even good. Okay, let's try that.
It's the red one that says leave studio, but. Up. Did he stop or is he frozen? No. Whatever he's using is slow. So what are you tubing up to? Other than drive-by eggings and sausage sandwiches.
I ended up having to take my son and daughter-in-law and my grandchildren to the airport. So yesterday, I get a message from my wife saying, we need to take them to the airport. I'm like, nice to have, plenty of notice. So I was supposed to be gaming tonight, but I ended up taking them to the airport instead. Excuse me.
I have pretty much either been gaming or working on a game. It's pretty much my life at this point. Well, besides the daily grind at work. What about you, John?
I went out my garden the other day after it quit raining. I got squash and lots of cucumbers, and finally starting to get okra. I got about half a quart of, after I chopped it up, I got a half quart of okra and 3 table legs that look like okra. But, if you don't pick it soon enough, it turns into a stick. And the bad part is, I don't think that stuff's been out there that darn long.
For residuals.
And beer run the search for residuals. I always hated it when when Mel Brooks went to George Lucas to get permission to parody Star Wars for Spaceballs, and George Lucas told him, "This is no problem, but you can't make any merchandise." And I'm like, how would that hurt George Lucas in the least?
Yeah.
I'm seriously. If anything, the Spaceballs merchandise would have renewed interest in
That's a
Star
shame.
Wars merchandise. So that's. And then there was the other one that says, was it you can't copy Han Solo's outfit?
Mm-hmm.
So they made their Han Solo character look like Indiana Jones.
Fortunately,
Which
I
was
keep my
typically-
feathers numbered for just such an occasion.
So, okay, was it storm damage or did you forget to pay the electric bill?
Electric bill is paid automatically. I mean, it was paid 3 weeks ago, in full. Nope, storm damage. Somebody either hit a telephone pole with a transformer on it, or yet another massive transformer at the Electric Membership Corporation went pop.
They've got these emergency switches on the power lines, and you can see it's this little rectangular box. You'll see it about usually 3 foot from one of the poles, and it's on one of the main electrical cables. And basically, if a tree falls over on the cable, it pulls the switch and it disconnects the electricity.
Haven't the faintest idea.
But anytime there's a decent storm and a tree limb goes down, one of those will get yanked.
All I know is I've got to take a can of compressed air to one of the oil lamps because dust and possibly moths have clogged up the vents. And when you put the chimney all the way down on the oil lamp, it either goes out or it smokes horrendously and makes you choke from the kerosene fumes.
Could be spiders.
That too. I don't like spiders and snakes. But I do like Dolly Parton. I'm old. I ain't stupid. We shall see whether or not the electricity remains connected. I still have my kerosene lanterns and my lighter handy, just in case.
Yep.
Hey,
and my emergency matches.
We've got oil lamps for every room in the house, and some of them have 2 or 3.
I have propane lanterns, which is
Hank would be proud of you.
Propane and propane accessories.
I just missed. Carl says I just missed Bill.
I can see into the ultraviolet.
One of the advantages of propane is you ain't got to worry about spilling. Less of a fire hazard. You ain't got to spill oil all over. Try filling up an oil lamp in the dark.
I've done it. Requires a flashlight, but I've done it. Carl says I just missed Bill. Was Bill here?
Yes. And Joe was here. And Dawn, you missed half the damn gang, Carl.
Well, I'm here now. They can come back.
There you go. Okay. Well, of course, Joe had his hospital visit yesterday. And
yes.
Dawn, I don't know, she got here before I did, which shocked the hell out of me. So,
yeah, really. Time for the end of the show before the show ever started, huh?
Well, the very start of the show was just Joe Dog and I. And then Rich popped in.
I I was asleep in my chair playing World of Warcraft.
I was literally.
I was playing World of Warcraft and I fell asleep, and then I heard the boom of Joe Doug's sending a message saying, "Where the hell is everyone?"
Yeah, well, I answered that on my cell phone. I don't know if it ever got through.
It did.
Oh,
Joe
shit,
told
it
us
is time to log in.
Yeah, I was literally lying. I was lying in bed. All of a sudden, boom! I was like, looked up at the clock. Oh, heck!
Yeah, well, I had spent the day waiting on it to get cool enough to go out and mow the yard. And I did all of 8 of the short stories for Aphelian's upload tomorrow and sent out links to the writers so they can proofread their stories and make sure I didn't screw anything up. And right about the time I sent that email, blip, I was in the dark. And I'm going, okay, turn on flashlight, point it at the ceiling, stand up, grab 2 of the oil lamps, fire them up, go to the bathroom, fire up that one, go to the living room, fire up one of those. Nick! No, it's all about the base. Out the base, out the base, no trouble.
We've got one of these in each bathroom, one out in the living room, actually a much bigger one out in the living room, and one of these in my bedroom as well. And then, of course, one here in my office.
Hello again for a second time today, Nick. Wife and I traveled down to the Tockert's house to visit today for a bit. Managed to make it about 5 hours before my allergy said no more.
Oh, and Dawn just liked the photograph that I posted of my office in the dark with 2 oil lamps burning and my backwards clock. Although I doubt seriously she realized it was a backwards clock because not many people do until they actually go, it's not 15 after, it's 45 till. Oh, the numbers go backwards. Yep. I like backwards clocks. They're fun. Always wanted to put the backwards clock above my bar in the living room, and then have a mirror with a regular clock the same color and design going forward.
Have you
on
ever
the
heard
opposite wall?
back when the French Revolution came along? There was some advocate among the French revolutionists that wanted to go to metric time. And they actually institutionalized it in France for about 6 months.
Yeah, because nobody knew what freaking time it was for that 6 months.
Well, they wanted to put it on all the official documents and stuff, but there were no metric clocks.
No.
Nobody knew how to make a metric. Well, I'm sure there was somebody that could figure it out, but
I actually have a calculator on one of my spreadsheets at work that go, okay, the production schedule is written with hours point something in base 10. Clocks are not written in base 10. So I did a
Normal
conversion.
clocks.
Well, I did a conversion thing where, 0.1 equals 6 actual minutes. 0.2 is 12 actual minutes, all the way around the dial. And people go, I don't understand that. I go, yeah, but you play World of Warcraft on your cell phone while you're supposed to be working, so who cares?
Apparently, there is metric time in computing. That a lot of computers use metric time and then convert it over to dumb time for the rest of us.
Oh, well. Sounds good.
Let's see here. In computing, at least internally, metric time gained widespread use for ease of computation. Unix time gives date and time in seconds. Let me see. Microsoft's NTFS file time has multiples of 100. VAX, VMS, RISO OS, or RISC OS, and Microsoft Excel apparently does it too, which that explains a lot about Microsoft, doesn't it?
As if anything could. Let's see. I've got to. Oh yeah. I've had my iPad unplugged all day while I transferred movie and whatnot files to the brand new 5.45 terabyte hard drive that was supposed to be 6 terabytes. Why is it they sell it as one thing and you get it at home? It's completely blank, but it's not as big as what they said it was supposed to be. By just this little.
A lot of them, they put crapware on it.
This is Western Digital. It shouldn't be crapware.
It's not really
they've got their money.
Because it's been happening ever since.
They have
I
their
worked
own
at
little
Staples.
mini OS on it.
Yeah. A lot of
hard
them do.
drive, which I don't know why it's the same for. I don't know why solid states do it, but I know the old spinning disk hard drives. You could buy 2 Maxters, 2 Western Digitals from the same exact place, hook them up into the same computer, and they're both going to read as 2 totally different gigabytes. It's just for whatever reason the formatting doesn't.
Flash drives too.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Let's see if I can.
And face it, a solid straight is just a fancier, flash drive.
There you go. There's the backwards clock. It's counting the other way to 1 a.m. It's now 7 minutes after 12. Or thereabouts. I love that thing. Yes, Mr. Bachman is robot voicing a bit, but, weather is a thing, as I have aptly demonstrated tonight.
I'm robot voicing right now.
You were.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was.
But you are comprehensible in the same way as undubbed Japanese anime is comprehensible if you know the story ahead of time. And no, that was not meant to be condescending in any way, shape, or form. I've just been drinking since 11 this morning. So, was supposed to go to my niece's birthday party, but had too much that needed to be done. We've got yesterday's storm dropped a tree into a branch of another tree right above our only surviving dogwood. So I've got to go out there with a rope and a come along and unendanger the dogwood. I was supposed to mow the yard today, but by the time it finally got cool enough for me to go outside, it was kind of raining like biblical flood. So
I had exactly
didn't
the
get
opposite
to.
problem. We got rained on last night, so the grass was sopping wet when I came out this morning. I was waiting on it to. And it wasn't supposed. Thunderstorms weren't supposed to start till 5 o'clock. So I thought I was.
Zach's here.
Is that?
Well,
Hey,
he was
Zach.
there. How you doing?
Oh, before the thought escapes again, since I recaptured the little bastard. Did you manage to catch Johnny Pica's show this morning, Dan?
No, I did not.
He was featuring Johnny Quest.
I know. I saw that yesterday in the "Oh, it's coming up soon" link, and I'm going, damn, I wish I could see that.
I saw that as we were climbing the car to go take my son to the airport. I'm like, oh, Dan would be interested in that.
Yeah,
Zach, I sent a link to you on Discord. So I don't know if you can get Discord on your phone. But.
And not that Zach, my Zach.
Okay, Max Headroom reference, zigzag.
You know, I don't think that Launchpad Zach would trust to get in my vehicle and let me drive him anywhere. Where my son's name is Zach, and I took my son Zach to the airport.
Have a nice life, kid. No, that was cruel. I'm sorry. Trying to remain functional in an unfunctional world. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the tick.
Spoon!
Yes.
A battle cry? Yes, something that we yell when we jump into battle. You mean something like, not in the face, not in the face. Relax force, chum. I was thinking something more along the lines of spoon. Spoon. Spoon! No, I didn't read weird comics in the 90s.
I didn't watch weird cartoons in the later than 90s.
Yeah.
Or the live action, which
Look what I have here, Clark. I've got green Otter Creek eye. No, my one weakness. Wait, that's just a green eraser.
Hey, the American Made. Okay, it was just hilarious.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Yep. And there's Zach.
I've got no. Somebody loves to flatter mice.
You dropped in on the conversation, Zach. So which
we just ran out of roofs, man.
YYC Airport.
Calgary.
Oh, okay.
Back in the good old Canada A.
On Canada Day, you're back in Canada.
Yeah, I get to celebrate it for a whole 2 hours. In the airport.
Okay.
So
in the airport, yeah, but they have gin and tonics and whiskey and soda in the vending machines.
Yeah, well, that costs money, and then it's free on the flight.
Okay, it costs money on the flight, but it's real cheap in the vending machines where I've been.
It's free. It's free on my flight. I'm flying first, so.
So Zach's happy.
I'm tired.
Relaxed.
No, I'm just glad we're on the ground after that 6-hour flight.
Yeah, those are always fun. We were when we first started the show, we were talking about the wildfires in Canada and how everyone we know is glad that we got thunderstorms to help clean the air a little bit.
Really, and it might even have an effect on the unearthly pollen.
So, is your neck of the woods where you live up there, Zach? Has it been affected by the wildfires at all, other than smoke? Or?
Yeah, it was all. I mean, where I live wasn't on fire, but like a third of the state or something was under emergency. So yeah, we had a lot of fires up here, but I think most of the smoke here stayed on the west side, Most of the smoke that was hitting the East Coast, I think, was from Ontario. But it was still a lot. I mean, we had air advisories here for 2 or 3 weeks. So
We had a big fire here in our neck of the woods that was up in Sevierville, Pigeon Forge area, Gatlinburg, which is a big tourist destination in East Tennessee. And because of the mountains and the way the wind blows through that area, we got a pretty nasty fires. We got fire tornadoes in that area. And it literally, people started evacuating, and because the roads up there are kind of small, going up the mountains and stuff like that, it literally caught people. It killed, I think, 24 people just in a matter of minutes. Just caught them while they were evacuating.
yeah, we had one up here 2 summers ago in a place called Lytton, BC, and it was a train that sparked something along the track, and it was 7 minutes, and the entire city had burnt down. Yeah, it was bad.
Remind me not to ever move to Canada.
Yeah, we're not very good at wildfire maintenance. I mean, we burnt down Fort McMurray about 10 years ago because we stopped clearing.
You burned down Washington in 1812, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. We'd like to burn things, apparently.
Well, concentrate on throwing shrimp on the Barbie instead of, forests and things.
I'm for that.
Oh no, Carl's wondering about a distillery. I don't know which distillery he's talking about, but it might be one of the ones that makes the 5 or 6 variations of the same liquor with different names that masquerade as Canadian whiskey. Canadian Club, Canadian Mist, Canadian this, Canadian that, Canadian the other thing.
And we probably sell it for 5 times what it should be worth because it comes in a maple leaf bottle.
Oh, no. It's cheaper than anything else on the market because, well, Al Capone used to import it, so nobody's going to raise the price just in case he comes back from the dead.
A lot of American liquor is made in Canada, and they just send it down here, mix it with something, and then rebottle it. So,
well, yeah, I mix it with club soda or Coca-Cola or whatever,
Hey, Canadian whiskey is why Americans invented cocktails. Okay.
Yeah,
that bad?
That was during Prohibition when we couldn't get any other kind except what we made ourselves.
And technically, somebody was cheaping out the liquor sales by selling cocktails. They mixed fruit juice in with the liquor, and that way you didn't have to put as much liquor in it.
Isn't Seagram's VO Canadian?
Not sure. Not sure.
That was one of my dad's favorite drinks is the 7-in-7, which was Seagram's VO and 7-Up.
Mike.
Well, there was
Seagram's VO Canadian whiskey.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, there you go.
When my grandma
Google
died,
is your friend.
When my grandma died, and my grandma used to run a club about Prohibition. And let's put it this way: her and her husband knew Al Capone. Yeah. And I went to her house, and we were helping to clean out all the stuff in the little apartment she was living in at the time. And she wasn't supposed to be drinking. In the back of her closet were all these opened liquor bottles that she had hidden behind her clothes and shoes.
Actually, that explains quite a lot about you, John.
It's. What is this? I thought Zach had been arrested by the airport police or something.
No,
what are you
stupid
doing?
airport Wi-Fi.
The phone police.
The phone police.
No, I didn't live stream going through customs, so they were happy.
Oh, Nick, explosions. Wait till Tuesday. I can tell you about explosions.
I haven't had any dairy. Oh, different kind of explosions. Never mind.
Mm. Hey, Josh. Uh, well, I know I missed a lot, um, including Joe Dog, apparently. Is he okay?
Yeah, I'm tired, but yeah, he seemed okay.
How's Donna? Has she had any more seizures since
She
yesterday?
has this horrible growth that she has to put up with. Its
Yeah,
name
it's
is
called Joe Dog.
Yeah, it's okay. That's
It's always underfoot, you know. Uh, not even Clorox can kill it.
she has this pain in her ass. We all know.
And you work for him. I've just got to be nice to him so I get a good table. Oh Lord. Okay. External hard drive now full of movies, TV shows, cartoons, comic books, and whatnot for HallowCon if necessary. Although I may delete the comic books because I did not think to put the graphic reader for comic books on there, but I have it on the desktop computer that the other hard drive is normally connected to. I might put it in there. I don't know if I can find the exact file, but it's basically it lets you read the computer screen as if it were flipping pages of a comic book. And there's only 200 gigabytes of that. So, I mean, that's almost as much as I have in Dark Shadows in the TVs. There's 10,000 episodes of Dark Shadows. I didn't think Dark Shadows had 10,000 episodes. I know for sure I saw episode 1182. And I'm going, how many years did this program run? What did they do? 15-minute episodes or what? It's not complete, but
Nick, I sent you a link. So.
Hey, okay.
On Facebook.
Oh yes, Pigeon Forge is lovely country. Traffic through that area is indeed nightmarish, but it is absolutely
because
picturesque.
Because of the train, they can't expand the roads through that area, so it's still got like 1920s highways.
My other mother-in-law lives around there.
Yeah. Well, it's 2-lane. It's not 16-lane or anything. But...
No, it's only 2 lanes. But the reason is especially Gatlinburg area, is where the mountains come down in the valley. Of course, everyone's built in there. Well, there's a creek or river, I'm not sure, that runs right through the middle of town, and it winds.
It's a small river, yeah.
And they've had to build the highway along the side of the river, and there's just no room to expand without messing up the river or tearing down buildings that have been there for 50, 60 years.
Yes, you're exactly right, Nick. I don't know if it was 7 years, but it was pretty close. They had several completed storylines before Barnabas ever showed up, and it was the
so he's kind of like
opera.
He's kind of like the shark in Jaws. You don't actually get to see the shark until like near the end of the
movie. Yeah, well, this was nowhere near the end. They kept going. No,
and Jaws hasn't. I mean, what are they up to now? Jaws 14, Jaws in space.
Jaws 72. The high school years. No, Dark Shadows was one of my cousins who came down to babysit my brother and sister and I when we were young children, that was her soap opera. And we would run home from school so we could
Yep.
catch Dark Shadows. Oh man, I got hooked on it right away because not only was it creepy and kind of goofy, but
Oh, the
it
dead
was
people.
very, very atmospheric and tickled those long neglected brain cells that got off on
I
the
had
Hammer horror
friends.
films and the
I had
uh,
friends that in the neighborhood we were living in. I lived literally right next to our elementary school. You could literally look out my back door, and there was the elementary school up on the hill. So all the kids that went to this elementary school lived in my neighborhood walked home, and because I lived right there, I'd come down, go to my classroom, and I remember Mark and Sean, who was Mark Holland and Sean, who was friendly. They lived at the far end of the neighborhood up by the entrance. I would see them running like their life depended on it to get home. What's going on? They would just yell at me as they were running. Dark Shadows!
yeah. Wait a minute, it's your yeah, really.
Someone's having a good old time.
It turned out that
It's either a parrot or a kid at the airport.
Same thing, all in one.
I always used to
They are very
describe.
similar.
I always used to describe classic series Doctor Who as masterpiece theater acting with a Dark Shadows budget. And everybody understood what I meant exactly.
That makes perfect sense. It shouldn't,
Yeah.
but it makes perfect sense.
Take that. Kids and parrots, okay? They squawk unintelligibly and repeat everything people say, and all they want is a cracker. Okay, that's
It is 10:30. This child should be in bed.
yes, that's why
Not
you hear
getting
this.
on my flight.
Well, look on the right. See what you do is
You're
same thing you do
waiting
with-
on a flight. Oh,
Same thing you do with a dog. Same thing you do with a dog. Throw a ball a few times. Let them chase it.
Can I
Bring it
flip
back.
the camera? Oh, no. I mean, I can do this. I'm at the airport.
You
Plane's over
own
there.
the entire airport. No one else is there but you. Have
Well, no,
the
they're all-
pilots
they're-
even shown
they're
up
all-
yet?
Yeah, they're over there. I came over here so I wasn't disturbing people. And so there was like an airplane in the background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now.
I was in the military for a long time, and I've spent the nights in airports waiting on those connecting flights, and that's it's kind
Oh,
of
Lord.
when you see the airport staff going home for the evening and you're still at the airport. It's
Yeah, there's like 2 restaurants open and like the airport gas station, and then everything else is closed.
Oh, I can't. We were at some airport in right outside Washington D.C. I want to say Richmond or something like that. I can't remember. But we got there, and literally our flight was so late. We got there, all the restaurants had closed, nothing but vending machines. Okay, and once we got in there, got our bags, and sat down, and we're waiting on the connecting flight, and they said, "Okay, your connecting flight will show up at 6 a.m. in the morning," and then they went home. They closed the desk and went home.
Yeah.
And,
Lindsay and I were. We had to connect. We had to catch a 4 a.m. flight from Gatwick to Atlanta,
Hmm.
and the
Oh.
only train that we could get before the train stopped running was from Portsmouth to Gatwick, and it got us there about 9 p.m.
Ooh. There's nothing to
So-
do in Gatwick.
Oh, there certainly is. There's loads of vending machines and shops. Once we got through security, I discovered the vending machine with the gin and tonics and the whiskey and sodas, and I had all kinds of British currency that I didn't want to take home. So I got myself comfortable and got myself loaded. And we even bought about 3 different meals while we were sitting there through the night and got some decent sleep. Pretty much sitting on the floor, leaning against the wall, waiting on morning rush hour to commence. But it was an experience. It was kind of like one of those transcendental things from some 70s movie where everything takes place inside a mall. And there weren't any zombies, thank goodness, but there were
Things are always
some.
better with zombies.
I don't know. No, I don't think so. I can live the rest of my life without zombies.
My brain went to the zombies thing immediately. I'm sorry.
Hey, I can find freaks and weirdos everywhere. I don't need any zombies. I lived through the '60s
Hey,
and the '70s.
I miss shopping at Walmart at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay,
I do
So much
too.
fun.
I do too. Except for the time that I ran into my dad at 2 o'clock in the morning in Walmart, and I'm going, what the hell is he doing up? He's usually asleep at 3 in the afternoon when he gets home.
hey, middle of the night, you're thinking, I need this. And Walmart's open.
Oh, there was a young lady that I met at a party. And I'm not going to describe what kind of party it was, but she was in the habit of going to not Kroger, but one of the other really big chain grocery stores like Winn-Dixie or something. And she would dress up in a black leather cat suit with high heels and go shopping at 4 in the morning at this all-night grocery store. And she said she got the best service when she got up to the checkout counter. I'm going, honey, with that outfit, you could get whatever service you want whenever you want it.
That was one of the things I really liked about the 24-hour stores is they were so nice.
Oh yeah.
They had to be there, so they were happy to talk to you.
Well, she got the teenagers stocking shelves to tote her cart to the car and load it in and everything with it. That's going, yeah, you're dressed like Catwoman and you're really sexy. That explains a lot, honey. She didn't think so, but I know so many interesting people.
The reason we were so late for that plane I was thinking about is they were waiting on several plane loads of soldiers to show up before they would load them all onto this bus and take them to the other airport. We're flying from a regional. They flew us into a regional airport and then bussed us over to the international airport. And by the time we got there, of course, it was damn near 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. So we got in there, got everything back, and everybody left. And it was us and the janitors at the airport.
Okay.
So we found one corner, and it was in a big cubby hole that would hold about 30 people at benches and chairs, waiting area. We basically took it over. All I think we're 15 of us. We took it over, packed all our bags up. Everybody found a place to sleep, and we set a guard. And said, okay, we'll leave 2 people. And we actually set a guard roster. Okay, 2 people up at every time. Make sure nobody comes over here and messes with us in our gear. And 6 o'clock came along. It's kind of funny, though. It was an international airport, but the whole airport was like ate up with puddle jumper aircraft. Little twin.
Oh, yeah, the little short trip. Yeah.
And then this 747-800 showed up. The plane was bigger than the airport.
The plane was bigger than the airport, but it was an international airport.
It was an international. It's somewhere south of Washington D.C. and it was brand spanking new. It just, it hadn't been in operation for 2 years. And it was in you know how Virginia, North Carolina, you'll find these swamps, basically nothing but pine trees.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that, and they cleared it off to make the airport, but there's plenty of room for expansion.
Good night, Carl.
But to give you an idea, there was nothing near this airport except a highway, no town. And I can't remember which airport it was, but apparently the whole area. Since then, the whole area has grown up because that was 20 years ago. Now it's a major city, or a Washington suburb, one or the other.
Washington suburb, I put my money on. Yeah, things like that do happen. They put an airport out there. It's in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, there's this huge amoeba arm of the local city reaching out to engulf it.
When British Air and Air France were building the Concorde, and everyone was worried about sonic booms,
Mm-hmm.
and how there were certain airports you couldn't fly into because the runway wasn't long enough. And there were certain cities that you couldn't fly it over because people were protesting the sonic booms and airport noises and stuff like that.
Who doesn't love a sonic boom?
Exactly. Well, the thing is, Miami, because they have a lot of old retired folks living in
commies don't like sonic booms.
Stinking Miami Reds came up with this brilliant idea, and I want to say it's halfway between Miami and Fort Myers, if I remember correctly. There's a swamp. They went in and built an international airport in the middle of nowhere. Just there's a highway that runs by it. And of course, the idea is we'll service the Concords. And because it's in the middle of a swamp, the noise ain't going to bother nobody.
Thousands of alligators then complained.
Pretty much, yeah. But for some reason, it just never caught on.
3 retirees from Michigan.
If you look on a map, if you go to Google Maps and do the satellite view of Florida and look northwest of Florida out in the middle of the swamp, you'll see an airfield out there, just in the middle of the damn swamp, and a highway running by it. And they never open it. The runway's there. They've got a few buildings, but basically the Air National Guard in the area uses it for drivers training. They use it to train truck drivers. That's it. That's the end of the.
Oh yeah, because Concorde got shut down before.
No, but the Concorde didn't want to fly into Miami.
I don't blame it. It's a nasty little town.
Well, that and the Concorde, for all its speed, is not a very long-ranged aircraft, or was not. It could make it from Paris to New York. It could make it from Germany to New York. It could make it from London to New York. It couldn't make it to Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Stopping and refueling. So it was, it wasn't long range. It had good speed. It had no range.
Well, I gotta jump on this plane, so I will catch you all later. Have a good night.
Have a good night, Zach.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks. Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for dropping in. Have a safe flight, and post something. Let us know you got home okay.
I will. I'll be tweeting from the sky, hopefully.
Cool.
Have a good night, guys.
Night.
Take a look.
So, talking about airports, I decided to look up the Gary Chicago Airport, which is also an international airport. I did not realize that. But looking at their
Bend is too.
Is it really?
I think it's South Bend International.
Huh. But looking at the Gary Chicago International Airport website, there's some wording on here that I would not associate with the city of Gary.
Okay.
World class
How
being
Gary Chicago
World
and South
class.
Bend, how Gary Chicago and South Bend are international. How close are they to Canada?
good point. Yeah, world class airport, world class location, and world class destination.
Yeah, but
Now wait a minute. What else is there
from
besides
Gary
the airport?
standards.
Well, along Airport Road, there's really not a whole hell of a lot.
South Shore Station.
No, there's not even a South Shore station along Airport Road, is there?
Yep. Gary Chicago Airport Road is a stop on the South Shore.
Really?
Yep.
I thought it ran north of there for some reason.
Nope.
Huh.
Had to ride that damn train for so long. It's a stop that we always stopped at. Like 2 people got on, 1 person got off in the evening going home. I mean, it's
their big thing, world-class airport. Our U.S. Customs facility is open, allowing air travelers to visit the airport from any international location without needing to clear customs elsewhere. And they have the second longest runway in the region after O'Hare, allowing them to handle planes up to and including a 777. Now, granted, it is actually a fairly big, as far as runways go, airport, but
and the air shows that were put on there every year. I mean,
yeah,
it has it doesn't seem like it would be a big airport, but it can accommodate a world class air show. I mean,
Now the part that I find funny. Gary Chicago International Airport is situated in a multimodal transportation hub with immediate access to 4 major interstates, which there are should only be 3 major interstates. The toll road 8094 and I-65. But those are only immediate access if we don't have construction going on.
And when is that going to happen?
all the time.
It's like Hartsfield International Airport talks about their travel times in and around the city of Atlanta, and it's like,
Yeah, really?
who wrote this?
Yeah.
Their marketing department.
It
Well,
takes 6 to 8 days to get from 285 to the frickin' airport.
Well, the funny thing is, they have on here located minutes from the shores of Lake Michigan, which is true, and just 25 miles from downtown Chicago. Notice they don't tell you how long it's going to take you to get to Chicago from there.
It's 6 to 8 days, yes.
Depends on how you're or how you're getting to Chicago.
Really. If you got a TARDIS, it's real quick. If you got anything else, God help you.
The South Shore got there real nice and quick, which is again, during the air show, we used to have a lot of people get on and off there as well. So, but yeah, that's one of the stops that used to wake me up every freaking day because I would sleep on the train.
Yeah. If I had to ride a train every day, I would be sleeping, yes.
I was telling you about, there's Miami over here. There's Fort Myers over here. You zoom in.
To the swamp.
Way out here in the middle of the swamp. That was going to be the international airport for the Concorde. And you can see they even left, they could extend the runway if they needed to.
So what's this one called? Swamp Witch Airport?
Dade Collier.
I think my name was a little bit better. Um,
And there's the National Guard's vehicle motor pool. That's it.
and
That's
nothing else there at all. Um, oh Lord.
middle of the Everglades and Cypress, big Cypress National Preserve.
Even hurricanes avoid that place.
And the idea, and you can see how there's nothing down through here. I mean, it's nothing but swamp all the way from Titusville in Orlando down through there, so that plane could come right down through there and not bother anybody.
Oh,
It's nothing but swamp anywhere. It's Florida.
yeah, really. Where's Ocala and Daytona on that in relation to that?
Well, Daytona's way north, and
Well, Ocala would be way east of Daytona. So, okay, no problem. I used to have to go.
Daytona's up above Cape Canaveral.
Yes, I know. I actually was on the beach when they did a rocket launch from Canaveral, and I'm standing there in swim trunks and flip flops in the burning sand of the Daytona beach, and going, "Oh wow! I just got to see a rocket launch with my bare eyes. This is cool."
Someone needs to throw up Tockert's weird autocorrect issue.
The what? Which one?
The one where he's trying to say good night to Zach, but it comes out as a weird autocorrect.
Oh, okay. I thought he was just warning him about that. The airport had a reputation. Yeah, Bruce Willis flies in and out of there a lot. Yeah, gonna be some gunfire.
So we have in Hobart here the Hobart Sky Ranch Airport.
Interesting name.
Yeah. Apparently it's still open to the public. Activation date is April of 1940.
Sounds like a World War II construction. Yeah.
Well, it is right behind a Army Reserve base.
There was a lot of that going on in World War II. Just have
Richie, you okay?
It's not the Hobart Chicken Ranch. It's the Sky Ranch.
Well, I was thinking, some type of bunny ranch in Nevada tie-in.
Don't think that.
Come to the Sky Ranch. Join the Mile High Club.
And I don't think Hugh Hefner was ever involved with this particular airport.
Texas
probably would have been a bigger success.
Texas has a whorehouse in it. God have mercy on our souls.
Now I want to watch that movie.
Oh, wow.
Same
no.
here.
Shut up, Dan. Not the green room. Not the green room. Not the green room. Shut up, Dan.
Hey, Joe's last instructions to us were, and I quote, "You can say fuck all you want to, just don't get me a copyright strike before HallowCon." Okay.
Yep.
I'm not sure I can skate in under that particular border.
I was in the military. I follow my instructions implicitly.
Yeah. Implicitly or explicitly?
Malicious compliance engaged. I mean, we love you, Joe Dog.
Knock on wood several times there. Oh, no, now I'm going to hear it from... Never mind.
Now you're going to hear it from the Forestry Service because you're using wood.
Well, yes.
Not the green room, Rich. Not the green room.
One of the jobs I had to work my way through college, and one of the sculpture classes I had in college had to do with woodworking, as distinct from the ones where I had to draw tastefully undraped females for a grade. I'll never forgive that professor for that.
It involved woodworking with the TA so that he could maintain a good grade.
No, there weren't no TAs involved. This is basically
TNA?
she's excited. I don't know if I can draw this, but I'm sure gonna try.
What are we looking at,
observing
Jeff?
very closely.
So this is the Hobart Sky Ranch here,
Yeah.
which actually right over here is the Army Reserve Center that's now surrounded by a trailer park. It said on the thing in 2019 they averaged what was it, 16 planes a day. Oh no, I'm sorry. Aircraft operations average of 66 a week. I can tell you right now, I have not seen a single. Well, I haven't seen a single one take off or land. The last one I heard tried to land ended up in the wooded area right about here by Ridge Road.
Somebody's brakes weren't working.
No, someone didn't descend nearly quick enough because he was still in the air and caught in the trees.
Oof. That's going to put a real kink on the departure time. Oh, Joe, you would love some of the highways down here in Georgia. They're
Why do I doubt that?
They are extraordinarily straight for dozens of miles at a time.
Because they have to double as runways just in case of emergency.
There's that one road.
Exactly. They
There's
were
that one-
built to be emergency runways.
There's that one freeway, I can't remember which, that runs between Atlanta and Macon. That is the most monotonous piece of freeway I've ever driven on in my life. There's no terrain.
Is it a big highway or a little?
It's a freeway. It's there's a big freeway.
Life is a highway.
Should be part of 75 then.
It's 75. No, it's between. Goes down to Macon.
Yeah. Should be. Or no. It might be 441, which is boring no matter where you are in its entire length. Used to be, we could leave Athens, drive north on 441.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
and
sorry.
wind up in Knoxville.
Between Macon and Savannah.
Oh, okay. Now that's totally
Interstate
different.
15 or
15. Okay. There's an angle to that one.
16. Interstate 16. My bad.
Make up your mind.
I'm getting old. I can't read the numbers anymore. Let's see. But God, it's fairly straight, and there's nothing. I mean, it's flat. If you're from Tennessee, it's like they sent you to hell on a freeway. It's and it's one of those freeways you could land aircraft on and probably not hit a car. It's
really, because there ain't going to be that many.
I love that you have to put in probably.
Probably, yeah. Well, there's always that one farmer on a tractor trying to get to the North 40.
It is Georgia. There's always there's always a Camaro broke down on the side of the freeway somewhere. It's
Nothing
like-
is
I think it's
foolproof
state
to
law
a
in Georgia.
sufficiently talented fool.
There's one thing you can count on with highways in Georgia. Wherever you feel like you can
Someone
relax,
is trying to kill you?
No, wherever you feel like you can relax and sort of hand wave away the speed limits, there's always a county cop sitting behind a bush somewhere with the radar going.
Hey, Dan.
Yes. It's
There's
not
always
the
a
same
cop with a
without
radar
Dawn.
gun going, "Hey, Dan, it's almost the end of the show."
Really? I can't tell you how many times that happened in my teenage years. Thank heavens for dirt roads.
Well, it's that time, folks. It's been another interesting Saturday night at the Stupid Clock.
Well, the thing is, how am I supposed to follow this?
You always find a way.
Probably.
Well, we can always
by
talk
not showing
about.
up.
Not my circus, not my monkeys.
We can always continue to talk about the snack shop I want to open up.
Nick!
Hi.
Nicholas
You literally showed up.
at
Like-
just in the nick of time. Yes,
Absolutely. It was an excellent entry. But I figured I would, the family went and they got tired. I'm like, I'll come in and say hi to say goodbye and then probably get sent a link to Last Man Standing.
Go to Dan's show.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you, by the way. Your
Nice
office-
to see you.
Where are you? That is not your regular office, is it?
Yeah, no, I'm in my regular office. I've actually been doing this thing called cleaning it. After about 5 years of every time somebody would come over, my loving wife would go, "Well, we'll just move this into your office for now." And I end up with pillars of things. So I've been sorting them. I can do this. I'm actually behind where my wall was. Look at this. It's full, mobility here. It's just remarkable. So
Say goodnight, everybody.
good
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Everybody.
Hasta bye-bye.
Oh, I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand, and touched the face of God.